Yo, what's up? Welcome inside the opening line, the beautiful sports month of October. Corey and Vinny coming at you on a Tuesday. Going to get into some waiver wire news. Talk a little Major League Baseball division series and take our first look at this weekend's NFL game lines. Let you know where they open and where they stand now and get some opinions on them. Vinny, what's the deal with you?
Yeah, not too much. Pretty good night last night, Corey. San Francisco cashed on all those bets. I had Tevin Coleman to score a touchdown, so that came through. I had Coleman to score and San Francisco to win, so that came through. So not a bad night. And a bunch of my Monday, Thursday lineups are in a pretty good spot. I had a little Matt Breida on some. I had a little Tevin Coleman on some. I didn't have any one where I had the two of them together. That would have been nice. But, I did play Kelsey as well, so not too bad. Looking pretty good right now.
Good night for the San Francisco team. I think we know who their running backs are. As we saw the distribution last night, Breida and Coleman appear to be the guys. Everybody else, secondary pieces at least. The Cleveland Browns have major issues with this offense. Baker Mayfield's been a straight-up bum. Anytime when I come into a game with Odell left to go and needing 2 points to win and still have to sweat the game, Benny, that's a goddamn disgrace.
And you needed 2 points, so you barely got it, right? Because didn't you go 2 for 26 or something yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, so you barely got it with that too. Listen, I've been saying it for a while, Corey, ever since I watched them in that Jet game, and I was like, if they can't score and they can't move the ball and they can't put a pounding on the Jets, they're not going to have a good time against, any kind of decent team. I thought that San Francisco 4.5 last night was about the easiest layup we've had in a while in sports betting. So very glad that came through for me. I had it on all my, I actually hopped into that DK Super Contest before I left to go to
gun. God darn it, Vinny. Why didn't you say something?
Honestly, it was last minute. They were doing something where if you buy 2 entries, they give you the third one for free.
I saw that, yeah.
So my brother was like, yo, I'm thinking about doing it. I'm like, well, yo, send me 500. I'll take one, you take one, and then we'll split the third one that we get for free. So we wound up doing that. So we got a couple entries there. I had it on all 3 of those entries last night, so that was good. That helps us, stay in contention here. We're a little above 500, so flirting with a chance to make some money, which will be nice. But, yeah, that's the thing. You look at that San Francisco team, they're legitimately good. We talked about that front seven that they've been spending a lot of draft capital on. They looked great last night. The offense doesn't have any big names, but everybody kind of gets it done. I think Kittle is probably the biggest name on that offense, but Breida's been producing. You're going to get Tevin Coleman producing here now. They're going to rotate a whole bunch of wide receivers in and out, so I don't think there's a lot you can really love there. But this is a good team, so I thought that was an easy one last night. So I'm pretty happy with the extra money in the account for this week.
No doubt. Congratulations. Yeah, I still got some more work to do this week, but I was able to make a withdrawal yesterday after that Yankee 49er parlay came through. We'll get to that a little bit later on. All right, Benny, let's talk some waiver wire for this week. Get ready to get it started. Don't forget you can get all your waiver wire information over at fantasyguru.com. Gardner Minshew is all the rage. If you're a Baker Mayfield owner and Gardner Minshew's on your waiver wire, Benny, go get him.
I would have already gone and gotten him.
Me
but
too.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. I like Gardner Minshew. I think the kid's pretty good. He's in a better offense, I think. He's got a better offensive line in front of him. They got better balance. Listen, I've been negative on Cleveland for a while, Corey. This team has problems, and they're not problems that are getting fixed anytime soon because a lot of it comes up front with that offensive line. That offensive line is not good, so they're not able to do much of anything. I would much rather have Gardner Minshew. Yeah,
no doubt. I would agree with you on that one. I think Minshew is if he's not already owned, I think Minshew is out there. What about Jonathan Hillman, New York Giant running back? We know the situation with Wayne Gallman. Listen, he's a starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I'll be honest, Benny, I don't know what to say.
Like you said, he's a starting running back, so he deserves to be owned. But this is not a guy I'm blowing a lot of fab on.
No doubt.
I'm not going to be spending up for him right now. Listen, Gallman basically got hurt the first series last game. So you pretty much had Hillman as the starting running back for an entire game. I think he had 9 carries, 2 targets, 1 catch, and 30 yards. So, you're talking 4 or 5 fantasy points. There's a very low floor with this guy. I don't think he's very good. Plus, they play the Patriots this week on Thursday on a short week. The Patriots defense isn't even giving up I think they're giving up less than 10 points per game to opposing teams right now. The only team that scored double digits against them, I think, was the Jets, and that was a punt return and a defensive touchdown. So I do not expect anything out of this New York Giants offense. And then you're also going to have Saquon Barkley come back at some point, and maybe even Wayne Gallman. So, like, listen, to me, the number one running back that's probably on the waiver wire right now, I would rather have a guy like Chase Edmonds, the backup running back in Arizona, because David Johnson is a little banged up right now. I think he actually even sat out of practice yesterday too. I don't know if Edmonds winds up being the starting running back this week, but I think there is a chance that David Johnson misses a game or two, and you would get Edmonds basically in a David Johnson role, a 3-down running back who's going to catch the ball, who's going to run. You know, he showed his speed last week, breaking that one for a touchdown. You know, Chase Edmonds to me is the guy that I'd rather be having. If you're in a league where Tevin Coleman or Matt Breida is available too, I think those are guys you should be going after on. You know, they're like 60, 70% owned, which means there's still 30, 40% of leagues, Corey, where those two guys aren't owned, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually held on to Tevin Coleman in a few places. Interesting to see how those lineups shake out. You already mentioned Chase Edmonds, and I like the matchup this week against the Falcons. We know how we do with that. Speaking of the Falcons, Ito Smith, who I'm not big on, is getting some work, and Devontae Freeman looks terrible.
Yeah, but I don't really think Ito Smith is good either. And even though Devonta Freeman looks terrible, Devonta Freeman's still the main guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're grabbing Ito, really you're grabbing Ito as a handcuff, hoping that Devonta Freeman gets hurt. That's what you're grabbing him as, because I don't think he's doing enough to really be. I mean, even in a 15-team league, I don't think he's a flex guy. You know, like he's a bench guy. That's it.
Kiki QT could very well be on the waiver wire after that slow start. We see Kenny Stills still could be banged up. He was able to do he was able to get 3 or 4 this week for 72 yards. When we look at the situation in Houston, you know, Fuller had to break out already, so you can forget about that. You can scrap that. The buying window on Fuller has closed. QT is a guy a lot of people like. With Stills out, I think he gets more opportunities.
I agree, but he's not a guy that I'm willing to, like, blow my load on, because really when everybody's healthy, I think he has dropped behind Kenny Stills. Mm-hmm. So you're really going to be – there's an opportunity where you might pick him up. Maybe he has 1 or 2 good games. And even the 1 or 2 good games, right now, Corey, like he's a number 3 wide receiver on that team. He's behind Hopkins. He's behind Fuller. So really, like, you can't expect more than 5 targets a game for him right now. And there's a chance that he could lose that spot when Stills comes back. So if you can pick him up for cheap for a week or 2 if you need him, I get it. But there are other guys out there I'd rather have. Like, you know, like Auden Tate is somebody who I would rather have than QT.
I think we may have missed the window on Tate now, though.
He's still available in over 50% of leagues out there. So there's a lot of leagues where he hasn't been picked up. I don't know if you saw this story, but A.J. Green is basically healthy right now.
Yes.
He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play unless he gets a new contract or unless he gets traded. So, I mean, I think Auden Tate with John Ross hurt, like, I think Auden Tate is here to stay. So this is what I'm saying. Like, Kiki Kuti may be more talented than Auden Tate, but Auden Tate, if you pick him up right now, you're probably going to have him for the rest of the year, knowing that he's, I mean, maybe only a wide receiver 3, but he's at least a wide receiver, 3 or a flex guy for the rest of the season. Kiki Kuti could have 1 or 2 good weeks, but he also may lose his job. So I think I'd rather go after Auden Tate right now if I had a choice.
If the Giants, if Sterling Shepard in the concussion protocol, it seems like, again, we saw that kid Darius Slayton catch a touchdown. Listen, if you roll him out there, you got to play him on Thursday night. It's for 12-team leaguers and better. And you got to start that third wide too. That's kind of the only way I would look at him. It's probably better options a little bit deeper down with injury situations. But if we don't get Shepard, I think, and Ingram is banged up too. So Slayton could be an ad this week. It's Thursday. They should be passing a lot. That doesn't mean the passes are going to be successful, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough matchup against that Patriots defense. This is probably the best Patriots defense we've seen since, like, them beating the Rams back in the day and, really being a Super Bowl contender based on their defense with the young Tom Brady. I don't really love it, but Darius Slayton is somebody I have on my list too. I mean, you mentioned the fact that Shepard may be out and Ingram may be out, and we already know that Barkley's out. So now you're taking the 3 guys that everybody thought were going to be the big receivers for the Giants. Somebody has to catch the passes when they're down 2 touchdowns that, Daniel Jones is going to be throwing around. Other thing I would say, Corey, a lot of people didn't want to wait out the whole Golden Tate thing. Golden Tate is available in around 50% of leagues on, a lot of sites. Now, again, in an expert league, you're probably not going to find them out there. But in your home league, this could be a guy who's sitting there on the waiver wires. And if he is, Golden Tate kind of projects for a very big role this week if all these other guys aren't going to be playing.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. Golden Tate, if he's out there, that's a good one too. Um,
DJ Shark is available in close to 40% league.
He should not be.
Yeah, again, you're not going to get him in an expert league. He's owned in that. But if you're in your home league and you need some wide receiver help, if you see the name DJ Shark, I was shocked when I was looking at that. He's over 40% of leagues. He's still available. I don't know. They must be like 4-team leagues where everybody's got like, and even then, I think DJ Shark's a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy right now based on fantasy points. So even in a 5-team league, this should be a guy that's on someone's roster.
Yeah, no doubt. I would agree with you on that. So I think we got pretty much through with every situation. Trying to just think about some of the injuries we have, some places that we could go. For the most part, Benny, I think we got it all figured out as far as waiver wire goes this week. I'm interested to see what Mark Andrews does this week in practice. Hayden Hurst could be a guy. Tyler Croft, I think, is still a little while away. Who else?
Chris Herndon from the Jets coming back.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Not Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, if you need help at tight end. Because Everett's starting to get involved a little bit more now also.
You know what? There's not a lot of meat on the bones here either, but I don't know if you saw the Patriots did cut ties with Ben Watson. Ben Watson just came off suspension.
Yeah.
And the Patriots decided to just cut him. So that only leaves Matt LaCosse and Ryan Izzo for them. Again, they're not using the tight end all that much, so you're not going to get a lot from it. But without Ben Watson there, it does kind of mean that LaCosse and Izzo are, at least viable guys that could wind up being somebody's backup. I mean, Tom Brady's tight end is not a bad thing to have on your team as a backup,
Are the Bears on bye this week or the Bears play this week? Because Taylor Gabriel in protocol, we may see some not Chase Daniels. We already may see some Chase Daniels. We could get some Anthony Miller finally getting some value.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I already have Anthony Miller and the Scott Fishbowl on my team. Somebody dropped him, and I picked him up 2 weeks ago. But, yeah, that's another good one. If Anthony Miller's out there. Anthony Miller was kind of like their Cooper Kupp last year before he got hurt. He was the slot guy, and he was a guy they were looking at in the red zone, and he's a big-time wide receiver. Injuries kind of cut his season short, and then crappy quarterback play at the beginning of the year had a lot of people dropping him. If he's on your waiver wire, I think he's a solid pickup too.
Yeah, no doubt. I would agree with you on that one right there. The Bears are on a bye this week, though, so that makes it a little bit tough unless you got the roster real estate and really need them. Trying to think. We should be good to go with the situation in Green Bay. We already know what that is. We already discussed Houston. Yeah, Benny, I think we just about nailed all of them as far as waiver wire this week. Is it anything in Los Angeles? Got Big Mike Will got back with the Chargers, but that team just seems to not be playing well right now. They could be in for it all season.
I don't really want to mess with it because with Melvin Gordon back in there, they're going to have to give him some touches. So I think it's going to hurt everybody else that was getting more touches. Another name for you, Corey. I don't really like to do it, and I'm a Jets fan, and I don't even really want to do it. But they were targeting the hell out of Demaryius Thomas last week. So, you're in a deep league. You need wide receiver help. Demaryius Thomas, he's at least interesting.
Interesting is a strong word.
Somebody who should at least be on a watch list, unfortunately, in a 15-teamer.
Yeah, unfortunately is the key word. Nothing going in DC, so I think we have hit them all. All right, let's get ready, Benny, and take a first look at these lines for the week. Talk some baseball and send everybody about their business. The Giants and the Patriots you mentioned earlier. The Patriots come in laying 16.5. The total on this one is 43. I think it opened up at somewhere around 15. Yep. I'm really interested in the under 43.
So it opened, you're right, it opened at 15. It's up to 16.5 already. I've actually seen it, the DraftKings Sportsbook kept it at 16.5. They didn't want to put it at 17, but it's 16.5 with juice. So
it's heading in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think up to 17 is where I feel comfortable kind of banging it. So even at 16.5, I'd still be in there. I'm going to try to find it at 16.5 without having to pay increased juice. So I'm not taking it on DraftKings, but you mentioned Gallman is very likely out. Shepard may be out, and Ingram may be out. So you're going to have Daniel Jones with Darius Slayton, Golden Tate, John Hilleman going up against arguably what's been the best defense in the league so far this year. I mean, the Patriots are, getting turnovers and limiting other teams to like 10 points or less. I mean, I think they've only given up one touchdown the entire season, this defense, and it's like 5 games in. So this is not going to be a very good spot for the Giants at all. It's a lot of points, Corey, but 16.5, I'll lay them.
Yeah, I think if I had to, I would lay them, but it's that total that really is intriguing to me, that under 43. If I go by, I go by this. The trap game this week, Benny, and I've been pretty good at spotting the trap game.
Okay.
Carolina and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay opened up as a 1-point favorite. Mm-hmm. Carolina is now a 2-point favorite. I love Tampa in this game.
This is the trap game. You're absolutely right. Oh, God.
It's hard. I know. It's hard with Jameis and the way Carolina's been playing, Benny. But it makes no sense for this game to open up as Tampa Bay with a 1-point favorite.
It's at Tampa, right?
It's in Tampa.
Yeah. Dude, I don't want to bet on this game at all. But if you're asking me to pick a side, it's going to be Carolina. Yeah,
I'm going with Tampa, Benny. I just look at the trap. It'd be interesting.
Zero chance I bet this game or pick it in the pool though. Zero. I'm staying completely away from this game.
Put it like this: if this is one of the most bet on games of the week, you're going to see Carolina coming in with 70% of the tickets and probably 70% of the money. This is the game that it looks like the book is banking on people to hop on Carolina, and they already have. Carolina could get the 3 on this one. I love Tampa here, especially if I get Tampa at 3.
Yeah, good luck with it. I'm not touching it.
Benny said, Corey, you can talk to you blue in the face. The Bengals and the Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore laying 12 here. 47.5 is the total. The Bengals, I would bet Baltimore first half because the Bengals have been terrible starters in this. First half spread is Ravens laying 6.5. I don't know if the Ravens are a touchdown better in the first half, but Cincinnati's got off to a lot of slow starts. I'd rather that first half at 5.5. But Benny, it's either leave alone or go to first half for me.
I don't want to lay 12 with the Ravens, but I will gladly tease this down to 6 and take it at. I actually saw it at 11.5, so I was thinking of teasing it down to 5.5. And taking the Ravens minus 5.5 as part of a teaser. Cincinnati's not good. I think the Ravens beat them, but I just don't want 12 points. Like 12 points feels like an Andy Dalton backdoor cover.
It is
where they win by 10 and I lose. You know what I mean? So I'll tease it down, but I don't want to lay 12 with the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens are as good as we thought they were.
I agree. It's going to be some growing pains. They are the best team in the AFC North though. So that's how I would play that one right there. Interesting to see where that line moves. Houston and Kansas City. This one right here is also interesting game in Kansas City. Kansas City opens up at 8.5. Now bet down to 4.5. I'm seeing some 5s around the board on some boards too. That 5 is that number again, Benny, and I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs in a bounce back spot.
So it got bet down to 5, and it's moving in the way of the Texans because it was higher, right?
Yep.
So then, if I'm gonna stick with what we've been noticing, Corey, I got to go on the Texan side of this.
Because the Texans are being bet down.
Yep. Because that's the team. They got to that 5, and they're the ones that it's moving in their favor.
Interesting. I'm gonna be on the opposite side. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I think Kansas City squeaks it out. This total right here, 54.5. I think they can blow past that.
Man, they had a big total last week, and they didn't get anywhere near it. Here's the thing I'll say, though.
Well, last week was the Colts and that Colts slow motion ground and pound.
That's exactly what I was going to say is, the Colts were able to beat them slowing it down. I don't think Houston can win that way.
No, Houston's
going to have to win.
Houston's going to slug it out with them.
Yeah, Houston's going to have to win in a shootout. So I do think that the over is probably more likely here. So I like that call.
The Saints and the Jaguars, another one right here, Benny. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 1-point favorite against Bridgewater and the Saints. This game opened up. Let me see if I can find it. This game opened up with Jacksonville laying 1. It's currently still sitting at Jacksonville laying 1. I like the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think I like the Jags too. The defense is legit with the Jaguars, even with Jalen Ramsey, not wanting to play. Gardner Minshew is a very accurate quarterback, which is something that's very underrated in the NFL that a lot of people don't realize. If you got a guy who's accurate, he's going to wind up moving the ball a lot, and that's what they've been doing. So I like that. Again, we talked about Leonard Fournette earlier this week. He's been a workhorse for him. Until he gets hurt, they can keep riding him. So I think the Jags got enough to get it done here. I like that.
Next up is, I don't know if this is next up on the board or not, but I just caught my eye. Minnesota and Philadelphia. Minnesota laying 3 at home. The total is 44, Benny. This is a tough one right here. I normally wouldn't touch this, but you know what? If I can if I can find a prop with this game going to overtime, yes. No, this is not it right here. I can see this game going to overtime.
So here's the way I'm kind of looking at this. It's Minnesota minus 2.5 on DraftKings Playbook.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So as part of a teaser, you can get Minnesota plus 3.5. And I kind of agree with you that this game is going to come down to a field goal by one of these two teams at the end. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's back and forth. I think both these teams' strengths play into the other team's strength. So, really Minnesota's going to have to win with their passing game, or the Eagles are going to have to win with their running game. And I think one way or another that leads to a game that kind of goes back and forth, and I think it will be a little bit low scoring too. What's the total on this? Is it below 49?
It's 44.
Yeah, I was going to say this should be a low total. 44 is a good number for this game, but I like the Minnesota side if I'm going to go either one.
If I had to pick one, it would be the Minnesota side as well. I definitely think this is a game that could end. I think we could see overtime in this game, and this very well could be a 3-point game. I'll probably leave this one alone. If not, I like that under 44. Seattle and Cleveland.
This is a wrong line.
Cleveland is laying 1.5. I like Cleveland, dog.
This is, if you bet anything but Seattle, you lose your fucking wise guy card, Corey. I'm sorry.
This is Cleveland, Benny.
This is Seattle with it's not even close.
This is a bounce back spot for the Browns. This number's going to push up. This is going to flip. Seattle's going to be the favorite in this game.
Seattle should be the favorite in this game. That's why if you're getting one with Seattle right now, you take it.
All right, Benny. We disagree on this one.
I'll tell you what. Not only do I take it, but I love this as part of a teaser where you give me Seattle plus 7 all day.
Okay, Seattle plus 7. I say Seattle does cover that
all day. That's such a good bet. Or actually, plus 7. And you said it's minus 1.5, so plus 7.5. Seattle plus 7.5 is like, you just gave me a gift.
I would agree with you on that one as a part of a teaser. I would money line the Browns here. If I bet this, which I probably wouldn't, Washington and Miami is going to be one of the lowest bet games in NFL history. But I would say if I was to bet it, I would bet the Dolphins catching the 3.5, or I'd put the Dolphins in a teaser.
If the Dolphins are as historically bad as we think they are, you have to take the Washington side of this game. But I don't want to.
No, I don't.
I like betting on good teams playing bad teams where I have a feeling on one or the other. I don't want to see two shit teams play and have money on it. I don't want to have to sit there and watch this game for 3.5 hours.
Exactly. Atlanta and Arizona, Benny. I'm just keep taking it to the bank, son. I'm just keep taking it to the bank. I'm gonna keep taking it to the bank. The Cardinals catching 2.5 at home. I'll tease it up to 9.5 or 10. But for the most part, I have no problem taking the 2.5. I have no problem money lining Arizona.
Again, the way Atlanta's looked, I really can't blame you. Like Atlanta's been, we didn't know what the thing is. Atlanta, I think they have the same record, right? Aren't they both like 1-4?
Yep.
And the difference is we all believe Atlanta should be better than they are.
Mm-hmm. And people keep I see people on Twitter saying, I can't believe Atlanta did it to me again. I learned over a year ago to not bet. Atlanta is horrible versus the spread. You can make a shitload of money betting against the Falcons.
Because everybody feels like they should be better. And that's the thing. Like they should be better, but they're just not. So God, I do not want to bet on Arizona, but I'm with you, man. The wise guy side is to be on the Arizona side of this one.
San Fran and the Rams. We saw San Fran last night. San Fran was undefeated. They've looked very good so far. Now they're going on the road to a division rival. Recency bias would lead me towards a Rams money line in this one, or put the Rams in a teaser. But what do you think?
Yeah, the Rams at home are a lot better than the Rams on the road. If this game was in San Francisco, I would be all over the 49ers in this one. Um, I don't really want to – like this isn't a game I have a strong conviction on, but the Rams less than – what are they, 4.5 or something?
4.
They're at 4? Yeah, I would take the Rams side at 4.
Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets, Benny.
This line is wrong.
Huh?
This line is wrong.
It's Cowboys minus 8.5. Cowboys are laying 8.5 on the road.
I might even mortgage my house on this one.
You think the Cowboys win big?
But even if Sam Darnold plays, which I'm not sure he will, but even if he plays, I think this should have been a double-digit spread. If he doesn't play, this should have been a 15-plus point spread. So I absolutely love the Cowboys. They're 8.5, which means you can get them down to minus 2.5 on the teaser. Absolutely love that as well. The spread's wrong. The number is wrong. This number again, I'm a Jets fan, Corey. I watch every minute of Jet football painfully. This number should be much bigger.
I think I thought we would have came in here laying a 10. What I'll say is even Darnold was the thing that was giving me some apprehension, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And I say this proudly, you know what I'm saying, Benny, but this is going to be a home game for the Dallas Cowboys.
This is an insult to the Dallas Cowboys that they're not a double-digit spread. I'm not even kidding. If I was the Cowboys, I'd be insulted that we're not double-digit spread in this game.
Tennessee and Denver. Tennessee on the road at catching points. I love that. Right now they're 2.5. I would take them up to 3.5 and hammer it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same side with you.
I would money line this too.
I do not look at Denver as a team that I ever want to bet on as a favorite. So
no, exactly. I liked Denver last week as a dog, and they came through. Pittsburgh and the Chargers. Pittsburgh catching 7 on the road. This is Sunday Night Football. I do not like this game at all, to be honest with you. The total is 41.5. This is a nasty Sunday night game. I don't think the Chargers are good enough. I would have to take the Chargers minus 290 and put that in a parlay with something. But I don't like the Steelers catching the 7, and I don't like the Chargers laying the 7.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers side, but I agree with you. 7's a lot of points. I don't think the Chargers are that good. But here's what I will say. Betting against the third-string quarterback is always something I'm willing to do. They got to prove to me that I'm making a mistake before I stop doing it. So, gun to my head, if I have to bet on this game, it's probably going to be the Chargers.
I wouldn't be surprised if this number got down to 5. Pittsburgh is a very public team. And then I think you'll see another contrarian favorite with the Chargers right here, just like we saw last night. Monday Night Football, we get to that a little bit later on in the week. So that's the first look right there, Benny. And just giving it a quick run through, I like Tennessee, Dallas. These are games I would bet. Tennessee, Dallas, Arizona, Jacksonville, Kansas City, and Tampa.
Definitely on Dallas. Definitely on the Seahawks here. Who was the other games I was looking at? Gonna bet big on the Patriots on Thursday. I think that they're gonna absolutely destroy the Giants. So far, those are my biggest bets. After I see how some injury news comes out, I may add more to them. If you want to know who I'm betting on, go over to the betting package. So far, I'm 10-5 over there, up 6 units in NFL. So make sure you're tailing and make some money.
There you go. That's my main man right there. All right, Benny, before we get to the big piece of chicken, let's talk a little bit Major League Baseball action. Tonight, we have the Houston Astros, who got their head kicked in yesterday, going against Tampa. Castillo on the mound for the Rays. Verlander tosses for the Stros. Minus 240 on the money line, plus 205 if you're backing the Rays. 7.5 is the total in this one.
I like Houston. I like the over. Castillo's a guy who usually only goes like 2 innings, Corey, 2-3 innings maybe at most. So this is basically a bullpen game. You're going to get 4 or 5 pitchers probably coming in for Tampa Bay. They have to win this game. Otherwise, they're out. I think that Houston goes on the road and closes it out. Minus 250 is what I saw this morning. So anything you can get under minus 250, I think is pretty good. Like I said, Verlander on the mound. I'm all about pitching in the playoffs. So definitely want to bet on Verlander. And, I think Houston closes it out, and we can move on to Houston and the Yankees, what I've been waiting for all year.
Yeah, I think that is the marquee matchup that everybody has had on. I'm on the Astros tonight, too. So you like the over, huh, Benny?
Yeah, I like the over. I think Houston's going to pound out a bunch of runs. The problem is Verlander's not. Actually, you know what I like? I'm not going to lie to you. I think it was 4.5 I saw for Houston over. Houston run line over 4.5 I liked.
I like that too.
Yeah. Because Verlander could easily go out there and go 7 shutout innings and, they win 5-0 or 6-0. So I don't know if I want to mess with the over, the total over.
I would definitely take the Astros.
Yeah.
Over.
Astros over 4.5. You were given juice too. It was like minus 130, I think, or something like that. But that's probably the way I would play it if I did. But I like the Astros a lot. I mean, minus 250 is not the greatest number to get, but I expect them to close out the series tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. They want to get ahead and get ready for the American League Championship Series that we all have been waiting for. Big piece of chicken, Benny. I was on tilt a little bit yesterday, so I had to double back down. And I came out and I said, you know what, give me a Yankees Niners parlay. And my man Gleyber Torres comes through. Gleyber Torres gets the big piece of chicken.
Yeah, so I'm giving mine to Tevin Coleman. When I saw the news that Tevin Coleman was in and Jeff Wilson was inactive, I went and started looking at touchdown props for Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman was plus 190 to score yesterday. He was plus 245 to score and for the 49ers to win. And you and I were all over that 49ers -5 yesterday, which actually dropped to -4.5, which was great for us too. But I took Tevin Coleman and the Niners to win. Got -245 or plus 245 on it. So I threw $200 on that, won $490 on that one. So big piece of chicken to my man Tevin Coleman. Coleman and Breida, both running backs that you want to have on your roster for the rest of the season. All the other running backs in San Francisco are no longer viable until one of them gets hurt again.
There you go right there for my main man, Benny Ricciardi. It's Corey Parson, the fantasy executive. The opening line, we are out.